Here's a question people should ask, but don't ask enough. What is your end game for your business? Where do you want it to end up? So in this video, you're going to discover what your strategy should be for your exit. Bam! Hey, I'm John Harris, and this is Info Products coming to you live from our digital studio. Before I jump in there and go through some of the strategies, I just want to go through the process that we've been on, the journey we've already been on info product creation. It's a 7-step process based on the acronym PRODUCT. The first one is the psychology, then there was the reach, the offer, then there was the delegation, the ultimate product, and your commercialization, your monetization, and we're on the last step now, which is termination. So within this step, we've got 4 lessons, and those are, you need to keep your exit strategy foremost in your mind by clear how much money you want to make during and after the process. You also want to look at how to build that strategy for the sale. You want to ensure that the business doesn't take over your life. You want to make sure the power of partnership, to understand the negatives and the positives of having partnerships, and you also want to look at implementation plans. So those are the 4 lessons we're going to go over, and today we're just going to talk a little bit about the first one, which is thinking about your exit strategy. We would like to go to look at the results, your key objective that you want to start on, and you want to think about what are the 4 main things you want to do when you're building your business. So there are 4 key things that you want to look at, and one is you have intelligent business goals. So you're going to start with creating clever goals. Think about it carefully and what your milestones are going to be. Then you want to hire on values, not just on skills, and we spoke about the importance of values, because skilled players in your team aren't necessarily team players. And then we spoke about putting systems in place that are going to leverage your time to get maximum results. And last of all, you want to nurture your relationships to create raving customers. So how are you going to go from an idea to a business? It's a long process. There are a lot of moving parts. And what happens is, as entrepreneurs, myself included, we tend to get involved and start doing a lot of things. We take on a whole lot of responsibilities, and we're rushing from pillar to post, and we lose sight of what we were trying to achieve, or really we haven't thought clearly enough about it, and we don't have enough clarity to understand what it is in the end that we're trying to achieve. Very important, you think up front, and if you're in the process, sit down and get some clarity. Do you want a growth business? Do you want to build a large organization? Do you want to have income for a lifestyle? Do you want to have a specific type of lifestyle? These are very important, and going forward, with artificial intelligence, with blockchain, etc., lifestyle is going to become more and more relevant. How are you going to create a lifestyle that suits you and create a job that fits the lifestyle? Next, the last, you may be just wanting some income. So these are going to have different entities with starting points. The entity you create, your legal entity and so forth, your tax structures, how you're going to set this thing up is going to differ radically from just creating a bit of extra income as an agent or consultant, not an agency, whether you want a lifestyle or whether you're going to build a big platform, some kind of big business. So you need to have clarity on that. Not to say you can't go from one to the other and build them out. If things change, you can do that. But your starting point, you don't want to go and enter something that you don't want to set up a large LLC or company with a lot of costs, and you're not really prepared or designed to go there yet. You don't have that kind of manpower. You don't have that kind of funding, etc. So, let's think about it. How do you build your business strategically for sale? And you need to think about a company. It's kind of like a house. We don't start out necessarily by wanting to sell the house. And if things go south and you have to sell the house or you have to sell the business, what happens is you don't get the price you want. And normally that's because you haven't really now got the money to dicky it up. You haven't put that extra coat of paint on, and you haven't got the nice type of branding, you haven't got all your records 100% correct, your finances in order, and you can't really present something which gets great value or maximizes the value of the business. And for myself, it happened when the first business I started was an office automation business, and of course I started it without enough funding, without the knowledge with bridging finance and etc. etc. And I didn't have enough in the way of human resources and technology. So what happened was I was very tight on cash flow all the time, and if you know my story, I eventually had to sell that business. Because I had to sell it, I hadn't set it up to be sold. And I didn't get the price. I simply got paid out on my contracts, the annuity contracts that I had. So I got a poor value for it. So it's critical that we all make these mistakes, but it's best that you right up front try to think about it. Look, you may have to sell it one day. You want to make sure as you're going along it's prepared for that. It's a very different strategy, of course, as if you're going to build it for growth. So start with that exit strategy. Get clear on how much money you want to make during and after the sale. So this is the difference. You need to think, if I'm going to sell, I'm going to build this thing, I'm going to sell it. What do I need the revenue-wise during and on acquisition? If you're going to build it, it's a different process, as I mentioned. So you're going to be looking at different things, which we'll go over just now. Now, sell, fine, but whom are you going to sell to? Okay, not everybody's going to be looking. You need, when you're building that thing, you have the idea of, look, if I need to sell this, who would I approach? What if I go through brokers? How am I going to do this? Who would do this? Who'd be able to put this deal together for me? And whom would be my ideal client to sell it to? Value is a very emotive thing. It's subjective, a lot of it. You can have your numbers, you can have things, but it still comes to what the value is in your mind for your business, and what a person's prepared to pay for it may be two very different things. So you need to understand there are different business models, evaluation models for different types of businesses. And you need to think within your industry, find out from your accountant, find out from your legal advisor, what is the best model to have for your particular business. Be realistic is the key to being this, and stay simple. Keep it simple so that you understand this is what the market would be willing to pay for it, and this is what you need to look at, and also understand, even if you have to get out of business, that decision that you make, you need to understand that if you're going to have to get out, that you cut it off early enough that you get enough revenue just to cover your debts. Look, if you want to stay in the business, it's a slightly different process. You're going to be focused on what you want to keep, the parts of that business that you want to keep and you want to build out. You need to keep it clean and simple. So the simplify. You've got to constantly say, how can I simplify these processes? What technology can I bring in, the right technology to get the result I want now and down the line? You need to think about, more isn't better. A lot of people will go in and have a core product, and then they're adding a whole lot of products for the sake of adding products. They need to be building very strong add-ons to that initial core product that are bolt-ons that make sense. Because if you diversify too much into other industries or other marketplaces, things are starting to get messy, and you find a lot of the companies that will then get rid of that down the line when things get tight and go back to their core business. You're going to renegotiate constantly. So what happens is a lot of these things escalate. You'll have fixed overheads and they continuously escalate. You need to be renegotiating those all the time. You need to be looking at your rents, and don't jump into a rental unless you have to, unless you're ready for it. But those are the kind of things. You need to be looking at other contracts, your security contracts, insurance contracts. You need to be looking at all these things, constantly renegotiating to get the best possible values out there. If you're going to sell, you need to have preparation for your sale. So you're going to be looking at having a proven market. Very important that you can present that you have a proven market now and going forward. Have a great product and service line. So that suite of products and services makes perfect sense and is very tightly bolted on. You need a predictable leads. You need to show your lead funnel. You need to show the channel and how you're producing those leads, where you're getting them. You need a continuity, if possible, having some contracts in place, which always adds value. You need a business system and business processes that can be replicated. So if you are not there, those systems will take care of it. You don't have to stay there forever and a day and be locked in. Next, you have to have management strategy, very clear, concise strategies of what you're trying to achieve whilst you're doing your actual processes. You need to be hiring strategically, and we've mentioned again, looking at when you need to get somebody in the right position and based on values. Not personally, driven so that you have to be locked in. So as I mentioned, you need to have these strategies in place to make sure that you aren't locked in, and you need to not do personally driven on your personality. If possible, you need a product to take over from your personality that you can sell. You keep your personality. Impeccable financials, and also you have clean records. So it's very important to have your record keeping done nicely, and you find it, because obviously that will be a big part of it. To actually look at the valuation, and they're going to look at that. They're going to look at the people that you have, and they're going to look at your market and the durability going forward of what the potential is going forward, with the understanding that the business would continue to succeed going forward. So what we want to do is write down now what it is, what your exit strategy is going to be. Are you going to hang on to it? Is it being built to sell? Are you looking to do a lifestyle business? What type of business? Is it just income? Is it a growth business? And you need to be very clear about this. You need to design it around your lifestyle, really. So if you're prepared to do a growth business and do a lot of hours, the rest of you goals must fit in that. Your family goals, everything else must fit into that understanding that you're going to be spending an awful lot of time building this growth, building a big business. If you're doing lifestyle, it can fit in easier, so long as it has the systems and the right people that it can run by itself. You don't have to be there. This is very important. Obviously, if you're just generating some other income, it's relevant to the work that you do. You're not necessarily going to pull out, unless you can do it on mobile and you can do it from wherever you are. That's also a potential possibility. And then you're going to do it by yourself and with the systems and with external people helping you. You're obviously going to subcontract wherever you can, but you can be mobile and do it yourself through your laptop. That is also a possibility. You need to write this down now. You need to think about it, and even if you're in the business, even if you are running, you need to sit down and think about these things and say, what is it that I really want? What have my goals changed when I started out? What do I need to be doing right now? So you need to just understand that it's going to have a huge impact on you professionally and personal life to decide these things, and if you do it up front, it makes things a lot cleaner, a lot more sensible. And you tend to make less mistakes with wastage, everything from wasted technologies because you go into the wrong size platforms, the wrong size technologies for the particular type of work, size of your business, etc., etc. So with that, I hope that's given you some idea to some things to think about. As usual, you can like us, subscribe, follow us. You can go to our Facebook page. There is a link there where you can go and get some more information on actually how to create information products. And these are, as you know, becoming bigger and bigger in the marketplace. Self-education, online learning, specifically now in the times that we live in, has started to get real traction. I don't say it replaces live classrooms, I don't say it replaces live events, but it is a very, very powerful industry, and it is a rapidly growing industry. So we'll see you in the next lesson, and go well. Again, I'm John Harris. And thanks for watching the video. Please, if you enjoyed it, if you liked it, just click the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe, and perhaps go and look at the other videos if you haven't already seen them. And I will see you in the next episode.